Amazon founder and CEO Jeff Bezos, for a brief time yesterday, and I mean a brief time, was the world's richest man. For several hours, his net worth, which is mostly compiled of his share of Amazon stock, which is I think roughly 80 million shares, or 17% of the company, pushed his net worth up to $90.8 billion. By the end of the day, the stocks for Amazon went down just a little bit, and his net worth shrank, and I use air quotations when I say that, shrank down to $89 billion. Bill Gates' net worth is just a little over $90 billion. But although Bill Gates retakes just by a small margin of $1 billion right now, and compared to how rich they are, even though Bill Gates reclaims the mantle of the world's richest man, more than likely, due to the sheer tremendous growth of Amazon and the trajectory of that company over the past several years, Jeff Bezos will probably more permanently take over as the world's richest man. And ultimately, I wouldn't be surprised if before the year is out, he may reach the $100 billion figure, which Bill Gates actually reached briefly several years ago himself. But with Jeff Bezos, he's been a billionaire for almost 20 years. From what I've read, he was worth about $1.6 billion back in 1998. You know, this was back when Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa were having their historic home run race, which has since then been tainted due to the steroid scandal. This was just around the time, or maybe a little bit after, Michael Jordan hit that iconic shot over Byron Russell for the championship for the Chicago Bulls. 1998, so long ago. But slowly over the past years, 2004, I think his net worth was somewhere around $4 billion. And then maybe around 2012 or so, his net worth was about $18 billion. But over the past few years, his net worth has skyrocketed. And it's one of the greatest individual rises as far as personal wealth, perhaps in human history, or at least in American history. The only person I can think of that might rival that would be John D. Rockefeller back in the 19th century. But for a time today, Jeff Bezos was the world's richest man. That was the first time that Bill Gates had been dethroned as the world's richest man in 7 years, I believe. But permanently, I would say very soon, Jeff Bezos will become the world's richest man. He's been coming for a while for, I guess, the throne, if you want to call it that, for world's richest man for quite some time. It's interesting, too, man, because I remember back when Sam Walton was the world's richest man with $5 billion. That was like in the late 80s, early 90s. That was the founder of Walmart. So the tech world really has increased as far as wealth as far as people's concerned, because you got to think these guys like Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos, these individuals, the late Steve Jobs, you got to think with all of these guys who are heading these companies, there are these multi-billionaires, they got to tell you how wealthy some of these executives are. And even some of these middle people, not the people in the lower tier, but some of the people who are in middle management with some of these companies, these huge companies. You got to wonder, some of these guys have to be making like half a million a year themselves, if not even a little bit more than that. Shit, that's what I'm trying to get into, man. I mean, I'm trying to move my way into a corporate position, man. Because I don't know if I told any of you guys this, but I'm trying to get a management degree, man. I'm trying to broaden out into some things, man. I'm trying to set some goals for myself, man. I've come a long way from where I was when I was 20, 21 years old. So I want to, before I'm 40 years old, man, I want to have some type of tech job, man. Some type of company like this, not, busting my ass doing any manual labor. I want to be a boss. Okay, I want to be telling other people what they're supposed to be doing, and I think that that's something that a lot of people want to be. You know what I'm saying? I look at these guys like Steve Harvey, and I'm looking at all these other people, man, and I'm gonna tell you something. Your perspective on life and on other things, life in general, and things change with success, because when you're not a successful person, you tend to be more pessimistic about everything, and you tend to look at everything as conspiratorial, because you got to find some excuse as to why you haven't been successful in your own life. So you tend to be more inclined to believe in conspiratorial things. Not to say there aren't conspiracies or there aren't certain things that are set up, in our world. I know that, but basically, I'm saying success opens your eyes to a lot of things that people tend to do, a lot of negative traits that we tend to have. But anyway, going on to a whole different thing with that one. Jeff Bezos, the once and future world's richest man.